Ah, you caught me. I was just looking up a rumor. I'll talk about that later on, maybe, or maybe I won't. Um, Welcome. My name's Aaron Short. Today is Monday, October the 23rd. Welcome to the live stream. I'm going to start by saying hi to our first. Bidowen, you were here before me. Very impressive, my friend. And I got 10 people watching, but no one's talking in the chat. So do let me know where you're watching from. And I'll get started. So I'm going to start with a recap of my week, my videos this week, and then take any questions. I did a really good session this morning. Did one of my private sessions that you can book through my website, and that was really great. You know, it's so interesting because I've realized more and more lately that when people ask me, like, what should I get or what should I use for a gig, it's so much more important than, or there's so much more to it than just like a one-word answer. I need to. I think I said this last week in the show as well. I need to know what people. I need to know what people are playing, where they're playing, how often they're playing, what guitar they're using, what the style of guitar they play, the techniques they use. Do you play fingerstyle? Do you play with a pick? What do you plug into? There's so many, and I realized that this morning talking with the guy this morning. It's like the more he told me, the more my answers were changing, and I think it's there's so much involved with it all. But it was a good session, so thanks for that. I really appreciate it. And if you want to book one of those with me, either a music lesson or a gear lesson, just go on aaronshortmusic.com and send me a message. So let me say hi quickly. Make sure you put your questions in. I'll come back to them once I've done a recap of my week. So Bedouin was first, which is very impressive because I was early today. I usually go live like now, and I wanted to make sure I was early today, and yet Bedouin was still here first. Watching from NOLA. Good to see you, my friend. Perfect person. Can't stay, but wanted to say hi. Why can't you stay? Stay for the whole thing. Don't leave. You're not allowed to leave, okay? Just kidding. Hope you're well, and thanks for stopping by. Sosi's guitar. When did you pre-order? I pre-ordered maybe the day after the leak. Remember we had the leak? I don't think I ordered that very day. I think the next day I put my pre-order in. But I definitely got mine in the first batch that Sweetwater got. I have decided to return it though, and I've also cancelled. As I said, I said last week, you've got to hold me responsible to cancel the OM45 deposit. I did cancel the OM45 deposit. I'll talk today about the OMJM20th if you want me to. I actually really am impressed with it. I like it a lot more than I thought I would, but I decided to exchange it with Sweetwater for an OM42. If you want me to talk about why, I'll gladly talk about it, but let me know in the chat because I don't want to talk about things you don't want to hear about. All right, Kevin is here from Southern Indiana. And you're in Los Angeles. Good to see you here. Marco says hello. Good to see you, Marco. How's Oasis treating you? Rosanna says good evening. Thanks for moderating, Rosanna. Appreciate it. When are you guys coming back to New York City? Because you're in a wet and windy... Oh. You're in a wet and windy Cornwall. Sorry, I saw the red... Hang on. Do not disturb. Why is my phone ringing when it's on do not disturb mode? I had it on silent, not do not disturb. Now it's on do not disturb, and it's still ringing. Okay, I think it stopped now. I'll call them back later. Business call. Rosanna says, good evening. A wet and windy Cornwall. Sorry to hear that, Rosanna. It's that time of year. Rafa is here. Good to see you, buddy. I enjoyed your videos lately too. I like your candid talking about gear. It's nice. You're making Lego. I still have a Lego Fender guitar that I got for Christmas. Never did make it. It's still in the box. Lee, thanks for moderating. Good to see you. Rusty Shortland. Hi, Aaron from Sarasota. Good to see you. I like seeing these new, I don't think your new names, but new icons at least. Boomer. I like that name. Who here is a boomer? I actually call myself a boomer today. I don't think I am technically, but I feel like one sometimes. I think we can all be a boomer at times. Please tell us why you returned it. I ordered a OM20th last Friday. I'll talk about it then. Okay. Let me start. Let me just cut to my regular recap, first of all. So last week I did the following videos. 1 second. So I think I already mentioned the Tone Master Pro I did. I think I mentioned that last week. That's done really well. No one's done videos on Tone Master Pro FR speaker. I have now returned it and I've asked Fender to exchange it. So they sent me a label and I've sent that one back yesterday and they're sending me another one to try. And if that doesn't work out, I'm going to send it back for a refund. But here's the thing. It's a complete hassle to send these amps. Even though the FR12 Fender is only £28, it's such a pain in the ass to send it back and forth. But I feel I should do it. I mean, I don't only want anything, but I personally feel like I've had 10,000 views on that video. And in the video, I say that it has a lot of hiss that I don't like. So I feel the right thing to do is to try one more. Because a lot of people online are telling me that theirs is fine. Well, where do you live? How loud's the room you're in? What's your hearing like? I'm not being funny. You know, I can. My point is, I can only talk about my experiences. My experience with that one, and also, it's not like I'm new to this. I've had loads of FR cabs and PA systems. It has a lot of hiss. So when I get the next one, I'm gonna make another review. I think the right thing is the right thing to do because I'm not out to kill anyone's business. So I'll be doing that and I'll be updating the video. Again, only based on the two I've tried. Maybe they're both faulty. I don't know yet. But that'll be good. I think I mentioned that really last week. So this week I did Fender Tone Master Pro for acoustic guitar because people asked me to. 2,000 views. Not bad for an acoustic guitar video. I then got the OMJM 20th and I did do the video. I was really impressed. Let's talk about that quickly then. So 2,000 views. People are obviously interested in it. The OMJM 20th, if you've watched the channel, you'll know I wasn't completely sure about it. I've got my reservations lately on signature guitars, unless they're exactly what you would spec out anyway. Playing someone else's signature guitar with specs that are not for you maybe isn't the best idea for me. And I've always been a fan of the John Mayer regular guitars, but the Platinum Burst, I wasn't sure about it. I have to say it looks a lot better in person. I have to say the guitar sounds really good for strumming and fingerstyle. I think it's the best OMJM I've tried. And I also wanted to make that video to make it clear that the quality is excellent on that guitar. I've had a few videos lately where I've said, I found this issue on this guitar, this issue on this guitar. Issue in my opinion is an issue with certain guitars from Martin. I thought the fair thing to do was to say this OMJM is a very high quality build. And it is. So if you are a John Mayer fan and you like the look of that guitar, you should definitely check them out. I don't want to say you should definitely buy one because that's the wrong thing to say. You should definitely check out that guitar. But for me, I decided it's not quite the spec I want. I want a standard series instrument. I want the non-streaked fretboard. So I asked Sweetwater if I could return that and get the OM42 instead. And they agreed. And I've got to say, I really like that OM42. I'll make a video about it. Those 40 series Martins are definitely brighter than the 28s for some reason. They say it's because they chamber out the sides to put the abalone inlay. I really think there is something to that. On the flip side of that, I think some people might not like the tone of it. Might say it's too bright sounding. But I feel like that guitar will mellow with age and the sound will fill out. Whereas I think a more dead sounding guitar, I mean, I hate the sound of a dead sounding Martin. And I feel like those guitars won't ever get brighter, but the brighter ones will get mellower. And I like the present. I don't like a dead sounding guitar. So I really like that guitar. And there's none of those weird frequencies that were in like the custom shop that I had last month either. And having said that, I've made a decision now to sell the other guitars. I'm going to do that. The only Martin I'm going to be keeping is the OM42. So if you're interested in I'm not here to sell guitars today. I am listing them online. If you're interested in any of the Martins that I own, please send me an email, aaronshortmusic@gmail.com, and I'll direct you to where they're listed. All right. So the next one after that, if you've got any more questions on that, let me know, because I know I said I would talk about it. the one after that was comparing that to the 42 and the Custom Shop John Mayer copy. And yeah, I mean, you know, I also posted the results of the OM shootout I did last month, by the way. I didn't make a whole video about it. I just put what the guitars were. And I definitely stand by the results, and I really enjoyed having your feedback on it all too. I definitely stand by the fact that the Authentics are the loudest and most resonant Martins, but they're not the sound that I want for the way I play. And then all the other ones are just hit and miss. You know, some sound great, some sound there's no consistency to this stuff. I've found the wood is all different. Sometimes you get a couple of guitars that sound similar, and they all have a similar kind of flavor, but when you really sit and listen to them in the room, there are big differences in the way they feel, the way they sound, and yeah. So that's been it's been good for me to make a decision. And you know, it's hard not to get the OM45 John Mayer, but again, I don't want a signature that I don't want all the specs of, including the color. And I don't want 20,000 with tax. Those guitars are over $20,000. I personally don't want that much money in a guitar. I'm not buying guitars as a collector. I want to be a player. Might regret that in 10 years. I might come on here and see someone might tell me they're now selling for $50,000. But even if they are, you've still got to store them in that time, right? And like where I live, we had a couple of years ago, we had a flood. It didn't affect this apartment, but the apartments downstairs got flooded out. So imagine if you had guitars like that and you had a flood. I don't want that kind of stress. So yeah, quite a lot of changes here this week from me. How about you? Have you bought anything? Have you ordered anything? Let me know. And that's why. But if you are getting the guitar and you like, again, if you like the look of that guitar, if you're a John Mayer fan, I think you'll be very happy if you get a good one. Also, I'll give you a heads up. Mine is going back today. So it may be, I don't know what's going to happen with my guitar. They might make a video with it, or they might do what they always do at Sweetwater with a returned item. They may list it as a returned item on their site at a slight discount. Now, I can tell you if there is the guitar I'm sending back, number 43, it's a good one. I really like it. And I haven't geeked it or anything. I've only made that video with it. It's 100% as I got it. So if you do see it on there, number 43, and it is reduced in price, why not get that one? Just throwing it out there. Doesn't benefit me unless you use my affiliate link, but yeah, just trying to help you out. And I did see today on Reverb, there is one up there for $6,000. I mean, what are you doing? These are not limited. Anyone can order one. They're shipping in the next few months, maximum 12 months. Why would you pay $2,000 more and not have the warranty on it? That's not a good idea, in my opinion. Almost became a rant. I do have a new rant screen. I know BMO wanted it. That wasn't quite a rant, so I didn't activate it. We'll see if we get there at some point. So, Nick, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for the show. Been loving the yeah, sorry, I just said I returned it. No, but I had to make that video, and I really, like I said, the Martin quality on that guitar is much better than I've seen lately. The sound of that guitar is very good. I still think if you're going to spend $4,000 on an OMJM, you should either go for something like an OM28 or save up a bit more and get an OM42. I'm just, but if you really are a John, I know there's people out there that are John Mayer. I'm sorry, I'm rambling today. I know there's people out there that are John Mayer fans. All right, and I know you want that guitar, then get it. It's great. But if you're on the fence, consider a good OM28 for less money. Consider an OM42 for more money, but arguably, like I always say, arguably a better guitar. Don't know. On paper, I will say yes. Sound-wise, actually very different. You might prefer the sound of the OMJM, but I really like the 42. I think it's worth the money. It's not just about the looks with the 40 guitars. I played a D42 a few years ago, and it was the same thing. It had a very present sound. I really like. They sound more modern to me. I like it. All right, so there's some info on that. Patsy Smith says hi to Lee and Rosanna. I thought Boomer would be BMO. I had that notion, but I didn't want to assume. I like that name, Boomer. But what I don't like is the way the word boomer has become a negative connotation. I mean, people say things like you're doing boomer bends. What's wrong with bending a string on a guitar? The whole okay. The whole point of electric guitar and a guitar is that it has strings and you can bend the strings. So why do you have to call us boomers when we bend a string? That's what the guitar is for, so leave us alone. Okay, I'm done. Did that say rant alert or rent alert? All right. Rafa hasn't bought anything, but I did start writing originals. There we go, you see? That's what it's all about. That's what I'm saying. Don't buy your resold signature guitar. Find a guitar you love, you connect with, write your songs and play your songs on it. That's a good way to be. Rosanna has a new cat. What's the cat's name, please? You should. And if you do, click on my link because you've already got a discount on it. So if you do see it on the Sweetwater, click my link in the description below my videos that say Sweetwater affiliate. Click on that and then order it. And you'll be doing me a favor as well. Thank you. Zach Lee, I bought a used 1999 Guild C30NT. The names are... I'm very familiar with the Martin names, but I'm not sure what that means. C30NT HG from GC. I know GC is Guitar Center. That's great. $1,200 with a case and a K&K pickup installed. Very good. That's a good deal. Good year too, 1999. David, been a long time. David, how you doing? Is the cat's name Martin or Jura? Jura. Imagine naming your cat Martin. No, please don't do that. Rafa, funny story. I went to an open mic I am regular at yesterday, but I got the dates wrong, and the open mic is next week. But the bar staff knew, so they set up the PA and did the mini gig. Nice. Nice. Sometimes the impromptu things are the best, right? I won't read your personal chat, but I'll just keep going through. Isn't the 20th OMJM limited because they aren't making more after August 24? Yes, they actually said orders throughout the year, implying to me that you can order until the end of December this year, but they may have meant for a year, so you can order until next September. But that's not limited though, is it? When I think of limited edition, I think of there's going to be 50 or 100 or 500 or even 1,000, but they're limited to a year. So when you think how many will be ordered within the space of 12 months, it's limited. It is limited, but it's not limited edition to 50. I think that's the difference. I don't know. I do think they sound good. I wonder if the new OMJ the plain OMJMs, I wonder if they sound as good these days. Apparently they have the Spanish cedar neck and the anniversary one has the mahogany neck. I don't know. Be interesting to know, but yeah, I can only comment on the things I've played, and I've played a lot of OMJMs that didn't wow me. The OMJM anniversary that I had or I have now going back is very good, very, very good. So yeah. Kevin picked up a Behringer Flow 8. Now I've heard a lot about these mixers, and I'd love to check one out one day. I hear they're really good. I don't really use a mixer, and I've got a couple that I like, but I've heard good things about them. The Flow 8 app control mixer, impressed with it. Parametric EQ, 4 bands each channel with compressor and a high pass filter, and then a mass. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, very good. I do like that. Now I just wish Behringer would help out TC Electronic and get some more TC Helicon products out the door. But anyway, Congratulations, Kevin. David the cat costs as much as a Martin, so I'm going to call it OM45. Your cat was $4,000? Wow. Hang on. OM45 is $20,000. Your cat was $20,000? I'd have given you a couple of cats for free, Lee, if you just let me know. Anyway, just kidding. Before you call authorities on me. Good sounding effects. I don't do looping or harmonies. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard good things about those mixers. I really like the little mini one I have, the little Elite Acoustics. That's a great little mini mixer. It's so small, fits in a guitar bag. But the one you have sounds more flexible with the app and everything. Flux, I like your logo. That's cool. Have you made any new Quad Cortex captures using the Cortex editor? I have to say it's streamlined the whole process. Yes, so I hear. I have not. The editor, I do find the editor a bit buggy. It's crashed on me a few times. Kind of waiting for the next version to come out, the next beta of that to come out, and then I might get into it a bit more. I would like to capture my Mark 7, the 3 channels of the Mark 7. That could be a good video to do that and compare them. Exactly. David summed it up well. It's limited to as many as we can make and sell. Exactly. And I think, I mean, look, what's the point of talking about scalping? You know, the guitars I'm selling now, I'm not selling for what I paid for them, right? The guitars I'm selling now, you cannot buy anymore. I've had them for a while. They're in great condition, mint condition, really. And I'm not listing them for what I paid for them because that's not the reflection of the market right now. The fact you can't get them anywhere else now, to me, means that the value has gone up. Now that I don't know yet. We'll see what happens when they sell. But to buy an OM, like if I put this OMJM that I have in the room next door, in the case next door, and sell it for $2,000 more than I paid for it, I don't know. Some will argue that's fine because you bought it, you own it, you can sell it for whatever you want. It's your guitar. And like I said, I'm listing other guitars for more than I paid for them. But I just think the problem now, I'm almost going to hit that button again, that rant button. The problem right now is that the guitar market is not realistic because most things that are released in the guitar world right now are bought to resell or bought to collect or bought to keep as some sort of investment. Not many guitars these days are sold to play guitar on. In fact, a lot of gear in general, I guess, is like that. A lot of people now buy gear. They like the gear. They like the collectability. They like the idea of selling things for a profit. I really think it's refreshing. I'm not preaching too much here because I'm not sitting here playing one guitar and writing albums every week on it. So it's not fair for me to do that. I'm no different. And I like gear too. I like buying things and I like trying things. But like Rafa's saying, he's writing originals right now. That's nice to hear. It's refreshing. And I think it's important to keep a balance, And again, I'm not knocking anyone for buying stuff and selling it. There's different ways to look at that. And like I said, I'm doing it myself in a way, but I think it's a problem now that when you want something, you can't have it because people are doing that kind of side business from it. It's the same like when in the pandemic when we had the PS5. I wanted a PS5 in the pandemic, and you couldn't buy one unless you bought one from a reseller. But eventually, Best Buy got some in, and I got one. And now you can just walk in and buy one. So I think it's definitely worth being patient. If you want an OMJM, well, like I said, either buy the one that I just returned because it's very good, or just put your name down with Sweetwater and just wait. They'll take care of you. It won't be too long. I bought a used Randall KH103, the Kirk Hammett signature amp. Didn't get it sound like Metallica. Got it because you can put any power tubes in it. Okay, that's nice. Making QC captures, yeah. I always say, Flux. I like the amps in the Quad Cortex anyway. I really do. the reason I do all these comparisons on the channel, and I do them for myself as much as the viewers. When I owned the JP2C head and they added that model to the Quad Cortex, I put them both through a load box and both through the same IR cab. So, okay, fair enough. A capture of an actual cab might be better than an IR. Might be, might not, might be. But I did put the amp and the amp model through the same cabinet model. And the videos on my channel, I really think they sound and felt exactly. I don't like that word feel, but people say it, throw it around all the time. So I really think they felt and sounded the same. I really did. I think okay, maybe not all the models are that great, and some models are better than others, but there's so many models in the Quad Cortex anyway, and I just like the simplicity of it. The good thing with the captures is they do use less processing power, so it's a good idea to have those as well. Maybe if I was thinking if I settled onto like a really good amp model and I like the sound I had dialed in, it might be a good idea to capture that and then just load it into a preset as a capture to save DSP, because you'll save a lot of DSP that way rather than having the whole model in there. But yeah, for me, I'm happy with just having like a clean amp, a heavy amp, and some pedals, and doing it that way. But I will check that out at some point. And I do have the Mark 7, so I will try it again. So the cat's name is Falcor. Really? So you've got a $20,000 cat named Falcor, when you could have had a free cat named Martin. Okay, fine. And the cat is limited to as many as they can make and sell. No, not the cats, everyone, before you call the animal protection people. He's talking about Martin guitar. Let's not get our wires crossed here. All right. Nick says it's really exciting to see all this new gear dropping. I wasn't sure if the gear world was ever going to be safe after COVID supply issues. Yeah, I agree. There's a new pedal coming out tomorrow. You see that? I saw a leak. I was looking up the leak when we went live, and I think, well, it could be fake news, but it looks like there might be a new Line 6 pedal out this week. But here's the thing. A lot of the gear coming out, like the Tone X, if this pedal I just saw is real, and the Tone X and these things, they are all smaller, cheaper pedals. So the pandemic did affect the market, didn't it? Because the market and the boom of the guitar world, and then the crash of the guitar world. Well, in my opinion, there's been a crash. From what I've seen, a lot of the gear now is more on the budget side, which is why it's quite amazing that Fender released the Tone Master Pro, because that is obviously not budget. I think the price is okay myself, but it's not budget, right? It's pro level gear, and the FR cab is pro level gear. These John Mayer models they're not budget guitars, are they? They're expensive, right? So, the whole thing has definitely changed in that regard. But you're right. There's a lot of gear coming out, and there's still more gear coming out, which is kind of crazy. And good, yeah. I just got to make sure I don't want to buy it. But yeah. It's also that time of the year because the holidays are coming up, so a lot of things get released now. So, need a rant alert for crashing software. Did your software crash? Oh, for the bug thing, yeah. Yeah. The Tone Master Pro app crashed on me, and the app for the Quad Cortex has crashed on me. But that one's still in beta, so it's okay. Dr. McFarland is here. Zach Lee says, I use Progressive Leasing to purchase the Guild guitar. No credit check. 90 days, same as cash. That's nice. Very good. Oh, Rosanna's talking about the cat. Falcor. Oh, called Falcor. He's not as much. Okay, he's not as much as the Martin. So it wasn't as much as $20,000. So it was only 15,000. No, it's fine. You know, cats are friends for many years in our lives, where guitars are just headaches that cost us a lot of money in strings, right? To keep putting strings on. Actually, no, I guess cats cost more with the food and everything. Anyway, let me get back on topic here. So yeah, there is some. I think there's some more guitar stuff coming this week. But where does it all end? Because every week there's been a new guitar product to amplify. I've been saying this since 2019. It feels like every week there's a new way to amplify your electric guitar. Where does it all end? Like last week, there's a tonocracy software from Atomic Amps. That's new, a new way to amplify your guitar using your computer. Week before that, we had the Tone Master Pro. Week before that, we had the Headrush Core. We may have a new pedal from Line 6 this week, a mini one. Where is this all going? Like, how does anyone decide what is right for them? How many people just have all of them and never actually play the guitar because they just have all the pedals sitting around? Don't you think there's too much? There's too many guitars, there's too many pedals, especially electric guitar pedals. There's just so many things. There's very rarely a pedal out for acoustic players, or I get the market is smaller, but it's very rare that we get or I should say it's very common that we get yet another way to amplify an electric guitar. And I guess it's not a bad thing. It's all fun and games, but how does anyone make a choice anymore? Like, do you get a Kemper? Do you get a Boss? Do you get a Quad Cortex? Do you get a Fly Rig? Do you get an app for your phone and an interface for your phone? Do you take your laptop on stage and run plugins from Logic? Or, heck, do you buy a guitar amp? Imagine that. Saw John Mayer on Saturday night, and he had a Dumble for one song. That's commitment. I know, I know. You're going to say, well, that's John Mayer. He has a roadie. He's making hundreds of thousands of dollars on this tour, millions of dollars on this tour. Yes. Yes. And could I really tell the difference between that Dumble and if he'd used a Kemper? Probably not. But there we go. That was for him, right? He wanted the Dumble. He wanted to play through the Dumble on that tour. That's why he took it with him. And that is fair enough. No, I get it. It's a different situation, but I just wonder nowadays, how does anyone make a choice? Like the only way I can make a choice on the Quad Cortex is the fact it's so small, and I need to take the smallest rig possible at times. If I took the car, maybe I wouldn't take that. Maybe I'd take an amp and a bigger pedal board. I don't know. Zach Lee says, how is your search for stainless steel frets on the acoustic guitar? I actually played the guitar with stainless steel frets last week, Zach, and I really like them. And I think I'm going to be getting them on my stage guitar. It's frustrating that there's very few guitars that come with stainless steel frets. The only ones I can even think of right now for acoustic guitar is all the Emerald guitars, which is very good. Never played one. They look a bit on the heavy side, but Emerald guitars come with stainless steel frets. Help me out here. The Martin Ultra. What are they called? Modern Deluxe. Modern Deluxe guitars have Evo fret wire, which is similar, but they don't have a cutaway, and they come with the Fishman pickup, which I've never tried. Well, I haven't tried lately. And they're really, really expensive guitars. Probably too nice to gig with anyway. But yeah, they come with Evo. To be fair to Martin, they come with Evo fret wire. So there's that. So you've got your the one I said first, that they are Emerald guitars. They are stainless steel frets and carbon guitars. Martin do have Evo Gold fret wire, which I heard this week. I read somewhere that they're running out of Evo Gold fret wire. Not Martin, but Evo, whoever Evo Gold frets are made by. I heard they're running out of the wire. So what will Martin do then? Will they switch to stainless steel? I don't know. Anyway, that's kind of it. I can't think of it else. And then Maton have the Joe Robinson signature guitar. I know I said earlier about I'm not a huge fan of signature guitars anymore, but that guitar does have stainless steel frets by default on it. I think there might be one more that I'm missing, but there's just none. There's just nothing. And then what's the alternative? Well, the alternative is to buy a guitar and install stainless steel frets. But that's such a hassle and an expense. And what if you don't like it? You know what? Even if you go to a store and find a guitar that you love, and then you send it to Sweetwater or someone and have them put stainless steel frets in and plek it, what if something goes wrong? What if something gets damaged? Or I'm not saying they would. I guess they wouldn't. But all these thoughts are in my mind. And a stainless steel fret and plek at Sweetwater is around $800. Now I don't mind that actually because the guitar is going to then last you for 10 years or more. So you'll probably spend that in maintenance anyway over the years. And remember, don't give me a hard time here. I'm talking about people that play gigs every night and wear through frets every 12 months. To me, that $800, which is also at that point a business expense because you are a professional musician, is worth it. All right. But it's going to mean that you're going to have to ship that guitar off, wait for it to come back. I don't know. I wish more companies would do it from the factory. So those guitars I mentioned have them. Anything else? There must be another one. I can't think. I'm sure there's at least one more. But anyway, that's how few guitars, acoustic guitars, ship with Evo or stainless steel frets. There's just not many of them in the market. So that could be a good thing for me long term because I don't want to buy stage guitars at least without the stainless steel frets. I don't mind like the Martin guitar having nickel frets because I'm not going to be playing it for 3 hours every single day. And also I feel like when you play on stage, you're gripping the guitar harder as well. So you're wearing those frets out more. Or at least that's what happens to me. So yeah, so I got to play the Maton a few days ago. I found one and I really like them because the stainless steel frets they're smooth. The strings bend really easily on them. So you can do those boomer bends on there. And they should last maybe forever, if not a good 10 years. I don't even know, but they shouldn't start showing wear on like the nickel frets do. So I'm either going to stick with one of the Cole Clarks and have nickel frets put in, or I'm going to get the Joe Robinson Maton. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to play my Maton that I have now to see what I think of the pickup system. See, if I like that system as much as the Cole Clark system, then I'm going to get the Maton with the stainless steel frets. If I don't, then I'll get stainless steel frets put in the Cole Clark. I need to make a decision, but I have to do it because the frets are wearing out on the Cole Clark that I use on stage, which is a drag. So yeah, to answer your question, it gets a thumbs up from me. I wouldn't mind if all my guitars just had stainless steel frets in them. I don't want to be maintaining guitars anymore. I don't want to be, I don't mind adjusting the truss rods. I don't mind putting new strings on, and by the way, stainless steel frets may eat strings faster, may do. I don't know yet. But I just don't want to be like dropping guitars off for refrets and fret dressings. And the guy I go to now, Evan, is amazing, but I went to a store years ago. They scratched up my guitar, you know. It was a ukulele. They put massive scratches around the end pin, and they were real jerks about it too. And by the way, they're not associated. They're not working for Martin anymore, which is a great thing. But as you can tell, I'm a little bit bitter about that. But Martin made that right. To be fair to them, they fixed it all up for free, and yeah, I just don't want to. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to have to even think about that stuff. I don't want to have to even think about that stuff. So, but yeah, I definitely think stainless steel frets are underrated, and I definitely think that more guitars should come with them, just by default. The Grey Martin gives me that vibe grey. It seems like right for collectors. I play everything I own and play them because I love them. Yeah. I actually like it. You know, some people put some really mean comments on that guitar, like, "Oh, it looks terrible." No, it doesn't. It looks really nice. And, you know, good on Martin for trying something new, I say. The minute these legacy brands like Martin and Fender and Gibson do something new and a bit different and a bit modern, they just get slammed by the internet. But you know what? They don't care because they're the ones that are making money. They know what they're doing, right? They make stuff to sell, right? They don't make stuff for people to argue about on the internet. So that's fair enough. But yeah, I think it's good, and it does look better. It's funny. Martin, I won't tell you who, but someone said to me when I was there, they look better in person, and they do look better in person. To be fair. LOL, a Dumble for one song. I mean, Boomer. That's weird calling you Boomer now after calling you BMO, but if you've got the ability to do that and you love that and it makes you feel inspired when you're playing in that stadium, then great, do it. I wouldn't laugh about that. And it's funny, you see a lot of bands now, they are just using a real amp. I mean, why don't we just use real amps again? I feel like that sometimes too. Keep buying this modeler and that modeler and this modeler and that modeler and this firmware update and this tweak and this preset and this patch and then you see like the Rolling Stones did a concert in New York a few nights ago, like a secret concert, and they've just got their amps behind them just rocking out. Great, I know they break, they're not flexible, blah 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 blah, but for some players that's all you need. Like for some players, you don't need more than 1 or 2 sounds, so just use an amp. The Princeton's my favorite amp. Yeah, I like the Princeton. When I owned the Princeton, I had the hand-wired Princeton during the lockdown. I didn't love it. I liked it, but I didn't love it. Yeah, I will say that. The problem with amps is it's hard to get the sweet spot sometimes in an apartment. That's why the modelers are good for that, definitely. On stage, I mean, if we don't have any ears, we need an amp anyway, so why not just have an amp? I've always said that. David says, locally, a fret job for nickel frets is around 600. Wow. Really? Where do you live? Yeah, I was thinking 800. Well, it's 800 for stainless steel frets and a plec. That's good. A plec is 300 anyway. So Sweetwater, that's a good deal. Yeah, it sounds like I said, if you're committed to that guitar, you love that guitar, you're going to be playing that guitar next. If you know that, some people don't know that. All right, I can talk from experience, but if you know that guitar is the one and you want it just to last forever, then do it. And get it plecked as well. I'm indifferent about pleck. I've played guitars that are plecked that I don't think even needed it. I think that can be a waste of money sometimes. But if you're going to have the stainless steel frets done anyway, just get them done, get them perfectly leveled with the pleck, and then just enjoy the guitar. Like what I've given some criticism to the Suhr guitars. They've got some quirks about them that I just don't understand. But I will say this, the fretwork, they don't pleck, but they do amazing fretwork. They use stainless steel frets, and I've never taken them to be set up or fixed. I just play them, and that's a really nice thing. So it's worth it for that. Yeah, Lee, that's interesting. I know you burn through frets a lot. I really think you should get stainless steel frets. I think you should probably get Evo frets because they're gold. They look a bit weird in a way, but people say that they do last a lot longer and don't affect the tone. Did I hear any pinging on those frets on the Maton with the stainless steel frets? Maybe, but only because I've read online it's there. So then you're thinking about it's there. No, I didn't. Actually, I thought the guitar sounded great. Again, bright. And I hate saying bright because people think I mean cheap and nasty and bright. When I say bright, I mean cutting and jangly and all the good way of saying bright. Maybe the frets were a result of that. Well, I liked it. So who cares, right? But the only way you would know that is if you had the guitar, played it with the old nickel frets, and then played it with the new stainless steel frets that are exactly the same shape and fret wire and height. You see, it's like the argument of pickups affect the tone of a guitar. How do you really know? Because you play it without the pickup, and then someone sands down the saddle, they install the pickup, they install everything, they readjust your neck angle, they put a new set of strings on, or they leave the strings on and then they're more worn in because they hit the strings with the tool while they're adjusting the neck. And then you get it back and you play it and you think, oh my God, it sounds different. Well, maybe that's a result of the other things and not the pickup. And I feel the same way about the frets. Very hard to do an exact A-B comparison of the two things. But if there is any kind of weird noises, I didn't hear it, at least on that guitar. And for me, the fact that they're easier to play and last longer outweighs any of that stuff. OM42? But OM42, I wouldn't rush out to put stainless steel frets on my OM42 because I'm not going to wear through them as fast as I am on the stage guitar. I'm not playing that on stage. I'm going to keep that at home. So I won't wear through those frets. So I don't mind having that refretted every 10 years. But to have a stage guitar refretted every 10 months, 12 months, that's too much. That's just so annoying. And then it's not even just then at that point, like the whole year I'm wearing through them. So even after a few months, I'm wearing into the frets and probably affecting intonation and feel and everything. I just want it to be the same all the time, consistent. That's why I wish Rainsong would use them, but they don't. Oh, interesting. I see. If I knew stainless steel frets were not of the tone so much, I would happily use them. A friend of mine had his Martin done in stainless, and now he hates the tone. Okay. Well, I have heard that from a couple of people, including someone that watches the channel. I think, like I said, I think for me, what I'm going to do, and this is my plan actually, the OM42 that I just got is going to have, be completely stock. I'm not putting a pickup in it. I'm not going to do anything. I don't want any wires that could move around. Not that they do, but I don't want to even think about it. I don't want the jack pin to add weight and things. I just want to keep it completely stock and just play it as an acoustic guitar. And that includes the frets. Just play the frets that Martin put on it. I just want to keep it completely as it came from the factory. And then with my stage guitar, I don't mind having a pickup system installed, stainless steel frets, because that is the tool for that job. I think it's very hard to try and get one guitar that does all your jobs equally, because I think it's much easier to have like one guitar that does one thing well and one guitar does one thing well. And I don't mean have like a million guitars. So this guitar's for travel, this guitar's for gigs, this guitar's for recording, this guitar's for bluegrass, this guitar's for church, this guitar's for Friday night gigs, this guitar's for the wedding band, this guitar's for the camping group. You know, I don't mean that either. But like a recording guitar and a live guitar, for me that kind of works nicely. Keep those two separate. And I don't want to take the 42 out to gigs anyway. But I will say this, I don't mind playing my stage guitars acoustically. A lot of the Cole Clarkson Martin posts online are so negative towards their acoustic tone, and I don't think it's fair. And I will reference a video I made a few months ago where I compared a Rainsong, a Maton, and a Martin GPC. The GPC got the least amount of votes, I believe. The Rainsong came second, but the Maton clearly was the winner. So don't tell me that Matons do not sound good unplugged, because I dispelled that myth on the video. All right. Nick says, I love using real tube amps out live, but I'm thinking about making the switch due to having too many pedals and patch cables malfunctions. I'm looking at the model. Yeah, I do agree with that. If you've got a big pedal board, loads of patch cables, and a big heavy amp, and you need, say, 2 amps and a big cabinet, yeah, I agree. At that point, it's worth it. What I said earlier, I think, is more for like, let's say you have a Fender Princeton, like a small lightweight amp and a nice mic to go in front and a pedal board with 4 pedals on it. I don't really see the point at that point in getting a modeler unless you need to record at home and play late at night and things like that. I do see the value in if you've got a massive pedal board and 2 tube amps on stage and 2 4x12 cabinets, and you can take all that weight and mass and reduce it into a small modeler, especially the small ones like the Quad Cortex and a stage monitor like FR cabinet monitor or PA speaker or in-ears. Then I get it. I think that's the point. I get it. But for me, I just think I could do most gigs with a small tube amp and a pedal board. So that's what I'm trying to say. I want to see if this leak has materialized. I shall definitely post a reaction. If this thing happens tomorrow, I'll definitely post a reaction video on the channel because I like doing those. All right, so Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell if you're new here. Thank you. All right. I love using real tube amps out live. Oh, no, sorry. Did it one already? Sean Christopher John. You won't remember me, but glad to see you're still gigging. See, now I want to know who you are. You're right. I don't remember you. I'm sorry. I'm still playing and gigging. Yes, I am. It's going well. Thank you. Zach Lee says, what do you think about the GC used sale going on? I saw that. That's really interesting. So usually with the Guitar Center used section, they start the prices fairly high, I think, and then they will reduce them over time. And if you go in the store, they won't discount anything. Okay, the price is what you pay. So right now, you've got 10% off. Oh, and free shipping, because it was not free shipping before either. So 10% off and free shipping. That's pretty darn good, right? Wow. Also, I noticed on Sweetwater, when you go to a guitar right now, they'll show you if there's a listing on their used section next to the listing of the new guitar. All this does is just tells me that, what does it tell you? Does it tell you that, I don't want to say the wrong thing now. Maybe stuff isn't selling as well. Well, I guess it's not, right? Everyone bought so many guitars in the pandemic. Things had to slow down. I guess this is what's happening. Everyone's trying. I mean, I'm about to trade a load of stuff in at Guitar Center. Honestly, yes, you're going to say you're stupid for doing that because you get less money. Yes, you do, but you don't meet weird. Not everyone off Facebook and Craigslist is random and weird. I've met some nice people on there, but some of them are random and weird. Some of them cancel, don't show up, waste your time. So even I am considering taking a load of stuff down to Guitar Center and just getting some cash for it. So there we go. They must have a ton of inventory at Guitar Center. So I guess that's the way they do that. Should we take a quick look for a little break here to see what they've got and what those prices look like? So guitarcenter.com. Let's see what we're talking about here. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Look at this. I did see this, but I kind of forgot about it. So 10% off used gear purchases totaling $499 or more in the cart. No thanks. Shop now. Okay. So let's look for something then. Let's see if they've got any rare items. No. Let's just do Martin. So here we go. Martin guitar. Where's used? Used. So you see what I mean? 634 guitars. That's a lot, right? I don't actually know. I assume it is. So let's search by price. I've never seen the D45 Dragon Koa before. So let's say you want a... Let's find something interesting here. Yeah. OM42. So used OM42, $5,000 and 10% off and free shipping. That's pretty good, isn't it? Now, the only problem is their pictures are not very good. The descriptions are not very detailed. And the pictures are not very, like, you can't even zoom in very much. You can't see any issues or anything. It doesn't tell you the year, the serial number, I don't think. But yeah, I mean, if this guitar is flawless, that's a good deal. 5,000, 10% off, free shipping. You have to pay the tax on top of that as well. But that's a standard series Martin. So let's see. if there's something more rare that isn't just a standard series. OM14. No. Well, let's say you want to get let's say you want the 1965 D28, all right? So there you go. You're saving $980 and free shipping. And the great thing with Guitar Center is if you don't like it, you can take it back to your local Guitar Center and get a refund. So that's good. So yeah, it's interesting. I've never seen them do this before. It's pretty cool. And you should probably check it out. I just wish they would give more information on the condition. I mean, this is a $9,000 guitar, and the description just says, this product comes with a case. Can you imagine if I listed my guitars for sale on Reverb, but in the description I just wrote, this product comes with a case? Like, no one would buy it. And I'd probably get a message from Reverb saying you need to put more of a description in your listing before we can post it. David, has anyone here tried cryogenically treated fret wire? It's supposed to last longer and have the same tone. Texas Toast uses it a lot. I mean, cryogenically treated. Sounds like something from the Alien movie, doesn't it? I like this. I don't know if stainless steel frets change the sound of the guitar because I haven't played the guitar with nickel frets and then played the same guitar, the same exact guitar with the new frets. But all I do know is that I love them on my Suhr guitar. I really like them on the Maton guitar. And they feel so like they're so, when they're polished, when they're really highly polished, they're so smooth and silky. And I don't know, I just want to say that maybe companies don't use them because they do use more tools. They do take longer to do, therefore cost more money to do. And I'm sure luthiers don't like them because that means less work for them. And also guitar companies too, less repair work for them. So looking on the negative side, that's what I'm thinking. Does it change the tone? I don't have an opinion because I haven't, like I said, I need one guitar and hear it, play it without the stainless steel and then with the stainless steel to really have an opinion on that. But from what I've played so far, I'm not hearing anything negative. And I'm pretty, from the whole thing with the pickups and that, I'm pretty fussy about this stuff. And I just don't have an issue with it. So I don't know. Is it worthwhile to get a Plex setup done on the Yamaha F? This Plex thing, I need to make a video about it. It's driving me crazy. I'm going to... Well, let me just tell you now quickly as well. I've very rarely bought a guitar where the frets are so bad that they needed to be filed or dressed to get off plecked or whatever, right? I love the idea of it, though. I love the idea that Martins are plecked, and I think Martins play great out of the box these days. I really think the pleck is helping them. Having said that, guitars that are not plecked, generally that I'm playing, are great as well. I don't think you need it. I think it's one of those things that's like, it's nice to know it's been done because you know that can't be done any more exact than that machine has done it. So if you're thinking about it, if you want to do it, I wouldn't say don't do it. But here's the only issue I have with having this done at checkout. If you don't like the guitar and you send it back, you don't get the money back on the pleck. You lose that $300 or whatever, probably more than $300. So that's the annoying thing. Now, if you buy a guitar from Sweetwater, yes, you can look at the weight, you can look at the pictures, but you haven't held it in your hands, you haven't heard it, you haven't checked it over yourself. If for some reason you do want to send it back and you've had it plecked, you'll lose the money of the pleck. So if you know 100%, if you've been to Sweetwater and you've played the guitar you're buying and you want them to ship it to you because you've taken a plane there and you want it plecked, at that point, I would definitely have it plecked. Yes. But you don't have to, and I think a lot of the work these days is so good. I think the pleck is just another added expense that you don't really need. So yeah, if I had the choice, yes, I would. But there's a bit like the stainless steel frets. There's so many guitars that I've played that have been plecked where I think this is amazing, But then I play another guitar that hasn't been plecked, and I think it's amazing. So did I just throw away $300? That's something that needs a bit more investigation. So I won't say don't do it. I'll just say be careful when you do it. All right. How do you know when it's time for a fret relevel? Has considerable wear, no buzzing, some notes to settle off. Yeah, I talk about the fact that my Cole Clark has got fret wear. You can really see it on the E and B string, but it's still fine. I'm still gigging it. You don't hear any, there's no problems. I just know that it needs doing very soon because eventually you will get intonation issues. Eventually you will get buzzing. As the string is depressed into the groove, it will buzz against the next fret and you'll get problems with intonation and everything else. So it's not like as soon as you see the fret wear, you have to go and replace them. Some people will try to tell you that when you're selling a guitar. Oh, well, it's got fret wear, I'll give you half price for it. No, it's got fret wear, but it's still fine. There's still a lot of life in it. And you can have it dressed. You don't have to have it refretted. You can just have the frets dressed. But I think for me, again, I just don't want to I don't have to think about that. I want to know that my guitar is always at the optimal position. And that's why having like stainless steel frets and a pleck will give you that peace of mind, right? For me, that pleck thing, I'm so mixed about it. It's great and I love it. And if I knew I could get my money back if I sent the guitar back to Sweetwater, if I was buying a guitar from Sweetwater and if I returned the guitar, I'd get the money back for the pleck, I'd have every guitar plecked because I like to know it's been done, even just in my mind. But the fact that you don't, you've got to be very careful about it. And then what will happen is you might get a guitar and not get it plecked and then think to yourself, well, you know what? This feels fine. So I'm not going to spend the extra money. So for me, it's a bit of a luxury thing. But you might disagree. Let me know if you do. So I would say that you've answered your own question there. If the guitar plays fine and sounds fine, then just leave it as it is. But if you think you're starting to hear things sound off, and certainly when you get buzzing, just take it to have it. Take it to a professional. Again, I want the stainless steel because I don't want to ever have to do any of that stuff. So you'll tell me to buy an emerald. Well, I don't really want an emerald. They're heavy, and I tried to email them. They didn't really reply to me, and I don't really want that. And the pickup system. The main reason I want those Maitons and Cole Clarks is the pickup system. I'm such a fan, as you know. David says PRS SEs are on sale. Yes, they are. They are on sale. Everyone is just moving stock. So many, I've heard from some companies that people just have stock in warehouses backed up. And then, of course, next year they need to bring out new models to keep the interest there. So they just have to get rid of it. Nick says, I've had some horror stories buying used from Guitar Center, but you can't beat their return. Exactly. And the fact you can take it back. Exactly. I've had some real success buying used guitar. Remember, I can tell you right now, I bought that GPC Martin that was basically mint apart from one little ding on it. That was a great guitar. Remember the one with the hexagon inlays? That was great. I bought another GPC special that was signed by Chris Martin that also looked like it had never been played, but it did smell. The biggest problem with buying a used guitar from someone like Guitar Center is sometimes the case stinks. And if you ever buy used on like Reverb, always ask them if there's any smell, because I know you can get rid of it, but it's a drag, when everything just has that musty smell to it. Ugh. I hate it. But yeah, they were both great experiences. I got the Fender Maya guitar that was really dinged up when it shouldn't have been, so they gave me my money back and the shipping back because that was their fault, not mine. So yeah, I've had mixed experiences, but I've had a few real successes on stuff from them, like stuff that's shown up just almost brand new. I feel like with the Guitar Center, some people buy a guitar, put it in their closet and never play it. And then they're the kind of person that would take it to Guitar Center to trade it in and just not care about losing money because they feel like Guitar Center can tell them what it's worth and they can just walk out with the money. I feel like people like us watching this live stream today are more likely going to sell on Reverb, because we know the actual value. We know how to list it. We know we can get more money if we sell it ourselves. And therefore, they may have been played more so because we're players and more so than someone that bought one and put it in their closet. Having said that, I have sold guitars on Reverb, and the guitars I'm selling now, I would say, are mint because I haven't been gigging them. I haven't been playing them much because I've been too busy playing my gigging guitar. So that happens as well. But yeah, like you said, the great thing with the Guitar Center is you can just walk them back to the store and get your money back. The Guitar Center sell maximum 5. Well, no, because it's not maximum, is it? Because this one, tell me if I'm wrong. This one is 999999, and you save 980, which is 10%, bringing it down to 9,019. So I thought I read that 500 as you've got to spend more than $500 and then you get 10% off. I think that's really good. That's really good. Yeah, you're gonna have to pay the tax, but you usually do. So I think that's great. I've tried to buy used stuff at Guitar Center before and ask for a discount, and they just will not budge at all. They can't. So the fact they've got 10% off right now and free shipping, because normally if you return a guitar to the store, you then lose the shipping. Although you took it back to the store and that store then takes it into their inventory, you lose the shipping that you paid for them to send it to you. So right now, you could get this guitar here for $9,000, free shipping, and if you don't like it, you just take it back to your local store and you haven't lost anything. So that's really good. It's almost like everyone wants us to buy a guitar right now, isn't it? Discounts on new guitars, Guitar Center 10% off, free shipping on used instruments. It's almost like they're trying to make us buy a guitar. What's going on? Crazy. As if we'd fall for that. Hi, is that Guitar Center? Great question from Michael. Good to see you, Michael. How often do you change out your strings? What is your go-to brand? So I've got some thoughts on that. I used to not be a big fan of Elixir and coated strings. Then I realized that playing as often as I do on the stage guitar, that the strings, like the frets, are dying. So I switched to Elixir. Didn't love them, didn't hate them. Then I tried the XT D'Addario because a lot of the companies have switched to them. I don't know if it's a business decision or if they do actually prefer them. I don't know, but I do like them. I like them. I broke a couple. I told you a few months ago I broke a couple. I haven't broken any recently. Knock on wood, of course. So the D'Addario XT are my go-to for my stage guitar. I'm pretty happy with them. And they do last. And I change them once a month because I don't want to break one. I feel like if I try and go longer than a month, then I'm likely going to break a string at a gig. And I don't want to do that because I don't take a spare guitar to my solo gigs. So I've decided to change the D'Addario XT strings on my stage guitar on the first of the month every month. That's my plan. And with them, there are some sites that will sell you them in bulk and you'll get them for half price. So definitely check that out. On the Martin, I tend to put the Martin strings because, again, that's what it came with. I might try the XTs on them on that OM eventually. I might do a video on that actually, but I've got bulk sets of Martin strings that you can buy from Strings and Beyond. So strings are so expensive now. I like to have the bulk sets, definitely. And then on the guitar behind me, that's the Rain Song. I think that's still got the Elixirs on because that's what it's shipped with, and I put them on again. But I'll just switch that to XT as well. Those XTs are very good. Unless on this one they suddenly break quickly, and if I feel like the Elixirs last longer, I will put the Elixirs back on. But I don't want to have like loads of sets of strings. And I want to have I really just want to have bulk sets of D'Addario 12s. And on electric, I tend to use the Fender 10s. So I'd really just like to get bulk sets of them and just use them. I've got loads of sets of strings out that I just don't want. So that's the answer there. Do Cole Clarks have a sound of their own, or do they resemble other major brands? Definitely a sound of their own. A very unique sound, unplugged, because they do have that Spanish Hill construction. and are very much of a sound of their own plugged in because they have the body sensor built into the brace of the guitar. But an amazing guitar. I really at the top of my list for things I've discovered the last few years. I mean, I've been gigging that thing the last 12 months, and I really feel like the gigs have been better as a result of the guitar. It's amazing. Having said that, I went to a jam on Thursday. It did feedback because of the venue. None of these things. Sometimes people put, "Oh, my guitar doesn't feedback." No, any guitar can feedback, but some guitars feedback faster than others. That's the thing. So I forgot my sound hole plug that night, which is why it got feedback. But I also like the Maton as well because it doesn't have the body sensor, but it has the gooseneck microphone, and that picks up the ambience of your strings as you're strumming, which is also very nice. So I'm kind of a fan of both. They're up there for me, Joint 1 and 2, and then the Anthem SL, and then everything else is kind of below that. Yeah, so might have a Cole Clark for sale. So email me. Again, I don't want to turn this into a sales channel, but I do have stuff I'm selling, and if people are looking for those things and we trust each other because we know each other from the channel, then why not, right? I think it could be a good thing. When I had one guitar, I changed strings every 2 weeks. A dozen guitars later, I have no clue. That's the other thing with me. I'm spending so much money. One of the reasons I'm selling a lot of stuff is I'm spending so much money on humidipacks and strings. It's if I can just get down to like one gauge of acoustic string, like if I just get down to the Dario XTs and just buy them in bulk and just use them on most of the guitars. I can't use them on like the hybrid Cole Clark, but I can use them on most of my guitars. And then if I can just use the Fender or even a coded electric string 10s for the electric guitars, just to simplify. And then it's getting very dry here now. It's 36% humidity right now in this room. It's getting too dry. I haven't got the humidifier running yet. So to have all those packs and all the guitars, so expensive. So much easier to do that. And then change, like you said, change strings more often. So there was a time I'd change strings every day almost, or every other gig. That's too much unless you're Eric Clapton or these days the strings are so expensive. So for me, changing strings once a month on the guitars is a good thing. What guitar did you use for the slow dancing cover? That was the Cole Clark Angel 2. Great guitar. Great guitar. Very hard to find in America, which is a shame. I wish they were more common. Both the Maton and the Cole Clarks. The Maton are a bit easier to find, a bit more consistent, but the Cole Clarks I just don't see enough. There are some around online, but not enough, in my opinion. No spare guitar. When I plugged the voice print in with XLR, it had no ground noise. You are right. Yes, I knew it. So Michael, we were doing our session this morning. He hired me to give him some consultation on his rig, and there was a hum that was driving me crazy. I'm like, that hum is from the pickup, because the Maton and the Cole Clark pickups do have a bit of that hum, by the way. To be fair, they do, but not enough for me to ever really hear it when I'm playing. But that voice print with the Taylor plugged in did have a really bad hum. And I said, oh, it's because your XLR cable, you're not using XLR cable and then ground lifting it, and that will remove the hum. So I'm glad to hear it did. There's still that little bit of background noise that I hear in that pedal, but at least the hum's gone, which is good. Because even I could hear that on the stream. I was like, wow, that's loud. Michael, how you doing, man? What's up? I was telling Michael this week is the AES show, the Audio Engineering Society. I went last year and posted the video. I'm going to go again this week. I think I'm going to go on Wednesday. Will I make another video like last time? I don't know. I don't think I got many views, but I'm going to go, and if perhaps I'll meet some interesting people there. So if anyone's going, let me know. That's at the Javits Center, New York City on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. A spare is always good. I was out with the bass player and tuning key literally broke with the shaft shot. Whoa. A spare bass. Michael takes a spare to gigs. I always take a spare when I've got the car and I'm doing a wedding or something big like that. if I'm playing in a bar and taking a cab or a train, I just can't take a spare guitar. And I've never had, again, knock on wood, I've never had a tuning key break off on a guitar. For me, that what would break on a guitar is a string, so I carry spare strings, or the pickup. So the way I get around that is I don't use pickups that go in the sound hole, and I carry a sound hole pickup that and a screwdriver, and that way I can install that into the sound hole and still get through the gig and still be absolutely fine. So I carry a spare pickup, not a spare guitar. Spare pickup, spare pick, spare strings. Yes, I guess someone could come over and smash my guitar, but if someone walked over and smashed my guitar, I don't think I'd be finishing the gig anyway. I think I'd probably be, you know, somewhere else. I won't say where. All right. Oh, so let me know if you've got any last questions. I'm going to wrap things up. So yeah, quite a busy week for me. The gigs, I had some good gigs this week. Went really well. Thank you for asking. And and this week I'm playing again. And yeah, it feels good. It feels good to have made some decisions. And then, you know, I worry doing these videos that I won't have stuff to do content on, but that's simply not true because I haven't done content on a lot of the guitars that I own anyway. The content really comes from the pedals and the EQ. And it was a good session today with Michael. I showed him very briefly how to use the EQ sweep in the VoicePrint DI. Well, that's something that could be a YouTube video, so there's still lots to talk about. And honestly, it's nice just to hang out here and chat, even though I can't see you all. I know you're out there. I know you're out there. It's nice just to be here and chat and get some ideas. The stuff about the stainless steel frets is really interesting because actually someone else that hired me for a session, a gear session, a private gear session, said the same thing. He said, I had a Martin, I had stainless steel frets installed, and I sold it because I didn't like it anymore. Wow. That really scared me, and that's why I seeked out that guitar that already had the frets in it so I could try it. And I know it's different because I haven't played I know it's different when you own a guitar and then you change the frets and it sounds different. So I don't know. But stainless steel frets as an actual thing in an existing guitar, I like them. I think I like them. Now you got me doubting myself. No, the fact is I need them. Like I said, if you play gigs and you grip the guitar hard and you play a lot of open chords, I think you need Evo fret wire or stainless steel frets. The Martins that I'm selling right now don't have any fret wear. You straight away on a Martin and an acoustic guitar and frets, you will get like slight lines, a slight mark on there where the string rubs, but the fret hasn't actually worn at all. Not like on the Cole Clark. Rex, good afternoon. How you doing, Rex? Joined late, walking around the lake. Very nice. I should go for a walk too. I haven't done that for a while. YouTube person, do you have a preference for Era or Fishman amps? Or other amps? I've said before, acoustic amps for me are a weird one because what they are basically is a flat range monitor, usually with not much headroom. So you can't really gig with just them. I gigged with a AER Compact 60 for years, and it wasn't the right tool for the job. They can sometimes sweeten the tone of the pickup, which like the Fishmans can, the Fenders can. You're right. I've reviewed the Era. I've reviewed several acoustic amps. They're all good, but for me and what I do, I'd rather just have something like the QSC K8.2 and a little mixer like the Elite Acoustics, little mini mixer. That is going to be so much more tweakable, so much more powerful. So unless you need an actual acoustic amp for a certain reason, or if you need, if it does color the sound in a way that you really like, I would just get a PA, a small PA speaker every time. And then now we have the little monitors, little battery amps like the Bose and the Everse 8 and these things. So they're good competition for those acoustic amps as well. But no, don't get me wrong. Some of those Fishman amps really do make their pickups sound nicer. But they're just, that for me, they're never powerful enough for the rooms that I play in. So I end up needing a PA system anyway, right? So you want to know my preference? For me, they're all about the same. I don't know. Elite Acoustics was really good. The one I reviewed, the D6. The Fishmans are good with the Fishman undersaddle pickups, I've found. I like the idea of the AER amps, but they're just not loud enough. And then people tell me that the parts in those amps are not very good anyway, or they're not expensive parts, and they're expensive amps. So yeah, I personally would rather have QSC 8.2, nice quality mixer, and have all that versatility that comes with it, personally. And a good pickup system that doesn't need to be improved by the amp. So the lesson was very helpful. Very good, Michael. Thanks for hiring me. I appreciate it. I've done a lot of those lately. They're really good. I'd like to do more of them. I've done a lot of guitar lessons in the past. I was a guitar teacher and music kind of business and technology teacher in England. But since I've got all this knowledge recently about the gear, it's nice to talk about the gear. And like I keep saying, I'm not just saying this. When you do a one-on-one call and you say to someone, right, where are you playing? What are you playing? Show me your guitar. Show me your pickup. And it was great today because Michael could show me the guitar. I couldn't really hear the pickup through the computer, but I could hear the hum. And then at the very least, Michael, we got rid of your hum today, right? Which is great. I picked up an old Variax and wondered if anyone had tried it with a TC Play Electric, if there were any tips for connection. Or with a VoiceEye 3 Extreme. Do you mean the Variax Acoustic or the Variax Electric? The Variax really works great with the Line 6 stuff because they have that connection for it. But like I said in my review of the Variax, way ahead of their time. Good guitars for their time. Way ahead of their time. And VoiceLive 3X, still love that thing. But no, I haven't tried it with those pedals. If you're going to try it with those pedals, you're going to need to have the brick on the floor that powers the guitar or batteries in the guitar. And I wouldn't really want that. I try to find the power supply that they used to sell for it, plug into that, and then plug that out of that into the TC. FX3 or Fender Highway Parlor. I asked Fender if I could try a Highway Parlor. They didn't get back to me, so I've seen a few comments from others, and they haven't been particularly amazing. I thought they sounded interesting plugged in. I'd like to try one, but I don't imagine for a second that they're going to sound like my Australian guitars, and for that reason, I'm not surprised I didn't get to try one. FSX3, great guitar. Yeah, you really can't go wrong with those Yamahas. I'm not a fan. You know, I don't wake up in the morning like I want to play a Yamaha FX guitar today, but they are amazing. You know, I get that feeling about I want to play my OM42, definitely. But that's just the snob in me. Let's be honest. FSX3 is arguably a better guitar because it's much more affordable. It's got a pickup in there that's very good, and just a great all-round guitar. So definitely for me, based on the fact I haven't played the Highway Parlor, the FSX3. Thoughts on the High Vibe? I did try one a few years ago, and that's one of those products that I just sent. I had them take it back, and I just didn't want to even make a video on it. It didn't work well for me at all. I found bugs in it. Again, I always say it could just be me, but I found bugs in it. They said they were going to fix, and like I say lately, I don't wait around for companies to fix bugs. I need to see the product working as it's supposed to when I make the video. The guitar itself, I didn't like very much as a guitar. I was checking out the High Vibe, which is now available to install in your guitar, but there's no way that I would ever hack my guitar to pieces to install the High Vibe without, first of all, hearing it in the guitar and enjoying that experience, first of all. So I don't really have enough. I only have opinions based on one High Vibe guitar that I played, Roven, but it didn't make me want to ever put that into my guitar based on that guitar and that whole package there. I might be wrong. You might put that in a Martin. I might say it's the best thing ever with the new software update. If there's been an update, I don't know. That was years ago. So I might be completely wrong. And I like the idea. I want to say this, like, I always say that I want companies to do new and innovative things. That is a new and innovative thing. I can't even say it. So congratulations. Thanks for doing that and trying new things. I want more of that, but I also want it to be done very well. I know I've got very high demands, I know. But I'd like to check it out again because that was a long time ago. I imagine they've updated the firmware since then. I believe there's a new version coming out you can install into your guitar. But I'd have to know it would be amazing to put that into a guitar because I imagine putting that much stuff into your guitar is going to add a lot of weight and stuff to it anyway. So here's me trying not to put stuff in my guitar these days. I'm probably the wrong person to talk about it. Still love my Hendrix and Bud. I had one of those. They're very good too, but I feel the same way. Popular for, yeah, I get that. They're more of a guitar amp, like an electric guitar amp. I get that. Probably better than a PA speaker, to be fair. You're right. But for what I do, I want more of a PA speaker. Oh, Variax electric. Okay. Yeah, so you're going to want to... I wouldn't want to use the batteries. I'd want the power brick that goes on the floor and you plug into that and then plug out of that into the TC. So yeah, just try it. They're good. Again, they're way ahead of their time. Cheers, Eddie. Appreciate it. Great show as always. The time just goes so quick. I can't believe I've been online for an hour and a half. I'm just like getting started, you know. Have you tried a Grace Bix preamp? I did order one of the Grace preamps a few years ago, the one that's $1,000, because people told me it's amazing, and I'm like, right, $1,000 for a preamp, and arguably we don't even need a preamp, and we've got like a Cole Clark or whatever. And I'm not saying I used it with the Cole Clark back then, I didn't, but I did try one, and I returned it immediately. I'm like, okay, it's built like a tank. I'm sure it's using the best components. It's amazing. But here's the thing. I always say this about me. I'm bad. I'm not the right person to review a lot of this stuff because I don't want to carry that preamp with me when I feel I don't need it. So that's the first thing. It's a bit like John Mayer and the Dumble. If I'm John Mayer, I'll have a Dumble. If I'm John Mayer, I'll probably have a Grace preamp on the floor that someone sets up for me. But as someone that carries stuff to a gig and every pedal matters, I don't want to take anything extra that I don't intend to use, and just plugging straight into that quickly and listening to it, I'm like, I don't hear it. I don't hear the $1,000 preamp here, so I didn't keep it. But again, something I wouldn't mind checking out again with the passive preamp, because I was reading the other day that the K&K preamps are really cheap and low quality. So maybe it'd be good to hear a K&K pickup, a passive pickup like that, through the Grace preamp. But for me, there's never been any preamp for acoustic guitar that actually makes a difference where I say, yes, I hear it. You know, I must have that preamp with that pickup. I never hear it. There's always just a small change from what I've ever heard. Have you tried the new IRX? I haven't, but everyone's saying it's amazing, and I can believe that. And I think with all this digital stuff coming out every week, I think people just like how refreshing it is to just have a pedal on the floor and just turn a few knobs. So I'd like to try it, but I don't think it's really for me. I think I need the flexibility of 3 channels or the modeler. But I'm hearing great things. All right, everyone, it's been great. I'm going to wrap things up because I have to ship a guitar back to Sweetwater, and I have to put more guitars for sale, and I want to make a video actually about John Mayer's live tone as well. So I might try and do that tonight or tomorrow. So I'm going to say goodbye, but thanks for being here. We've had over 30 online again, which is awesome. It's really nice to know people actually want to watch this and ask the questions. Like I said, if you've got a specific lesson or topic or choosing a guitar or something like that, feel free to email me, aaronshortmusic@gmail.com. The email address is on the description of this YouTube channel and also on aaronshortmusic.com on my website, or you can contact me through social media as well. I do offer that consultation thing, and that's been really good, and it's a nice way to fund the channel as well to do those sessions. So that's great. Molly Tuttle and Billy Strings use the Grace Bix. Well, I'm sure they do. Again, I'm sure they're not taking the subway to a gig. They're driving to a gig. Maybe they have a deal with Grace as well where they've been provided the unit. I don't know that. But I think they also use K&Ks. If I was using just a K&K pickup, I would definitely investigate that preamp. But my preamps are so good in the guitars anyway that I don't think it's going to do anything. I may be wrong. Lights, lighting on gigs, any thoughts? I don't take any. Again, I can't really take them with me. I do have a tip jar that lights up, that adds some ambience and makes it very obvious that that is the tip jar. I don't take it to all my gigs, but certain gigs where I get tips, I do take it when I can. And again, it's a hassle to take it, but it's definitely worth it because the chances are it will create that ambience and also you get more tips because you can see there's a tip jar there. I do have a strip of lights that I used to use on the channel, and now they live in the car. So if I've got a band gig, I will put those at the back of the stage to light up the back of the stage, and they're app controlled as well. So I do think lighting is important if you've got the ability to take it with you. Definitely get just a set of, like a strip of lights where you can change the color from your phone and set different programs from the phone. You could even get 2 or 3 of those for a band and actually have them create like a staging with them around the whole band. But definitely get at least one of those. Yeah, the lighting is definitely overlooked by many people. Michael carried a £50 Marshall amp through Manhattan yesterday. I'm ready for a Kemper. There you go. I would never. Well, I just wouldn't have a £50. My amp is £50. I just wouldn't take it to a gig through the city. I would take I've still got my 25-watt Mesa amp, which weighs about £20. I would just take that. Or I would take the Quad Cortex. Because if you go into a rehearsal room, you can just plug into the amp that's already there anyway, right? I guess it depends where you're playing. And the Marshall didn't cut through a band mix. Well, people will say the Kemper don't cut through a band mix, so there's the proof. It's not about whether it's a Marshall or a Kemper. It's about what you're using and how you EQ it, right? Yeah, so as I was saying, reach out. I've had done loads of those lately, and I really like doing them, and it helps me support the channel doing them as well, to be blunt with you. Use my links below if you're buying anything this week. I appreciate it. And most importantly, if you want to help me out, share my channel with some people, and also subscribe to this channel and ring the bell to be notified of when I post those videos and when I go live. Next week, I do have a gig. Let me just double check that so you know. Next week, I have a gig. And, oh dear, the dentist. That was a mistake because I can't go to the dentist and then do a gig as well. So I better change that. But anyway, next Monday, oh man. Now, if I do go to the dentist and play a gig, I won't be able to do next Monday. So I'll probably end up doing next Tuesday an early session. So that's why you got to subscribe and ring the bell, because I'm always here Mondays at 4 p.m. But occasionally when I have a gig, I'm not here then. So subscribe and ring the bell and you'll be notified of when I'm live. But next week, I definitely won't be here at this time. Hopefully I'll be here either a few hours earlier, or actually, if I can't do that, I'll just do the morning. Maybe I'll do like a 10 a.m. Okay. So subscribe and ring the bell, and you'll be notified when. I'm also scheduling now these streams the day before, so you see on the channel when it's happening. So in fact, you can do that as well. Rather than just going live, I'm trying to schedule them the day before. So that morning, you can go on my channel and see Aaron will be live at this time. So next Monday, I'll definitely do some point. It might be really early. And the reason I'll do that is because then people coming on here at 4 p.m. can still just watch the replay. So we'll see. And that might be interesting, actually, to see who's around an early time. So thanks to everyone. Have a great week. Enjoy your gear. Enjoy your music. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care and be well. Bye-bye.